When someone with nearly 400,000 subscribers and close to 200 million total video views on YouTube just quietly walks away from their channel. No big farewell video, no emotional goodbye, no dramatic announcement. You notice. You start asking questions. And when that someone is Chad Hilt, one of the most creative and unconventional car builders on the entire internet, the questions get even louder. Because this isn't some faceless content creator who burned out and disappeared. This is Bad Chad, the guy who could build a Bugatti out of a chicken coop. The guy who went from complete obscurity in rural Nova Scotia to a Discovery Channel television show in the span of about a year. A man who, by any measure, has one of the most compelling and surprising stories in the world of automotive content. And he just walked away from his own channel, put it on hiatus, left it sitting there, frozen in time, while he quietly started over somewhere else. And if you're a fan, or even if you're just someone who stumbled across his content and loved what you saw, you deserve to know the full story. Not the clickbait version, not the speculation. The real, complete picture of who Bad Chad is, what happened to his channel, and where it's gone next. Let's get into it. To understand why this channel situation matters so much, you have to go back to the beginning. Because Bad Chad's origin story is genuinely one of the most remarkable in automotive content history, and it starts not with a YouTube strategy or content plan, but with a Bugatti replica and a woman who believed in him. Chad Hilt grew up in Kingsport, Nova Scotia, Canada. Rural, remote, far from the kind of attention that turned people into television stars. By his own admission, he struggled early. He dropped out of school young. He got fired from jobs. He bounced around. But the one constant in his life, the thing that never went away, was his ability to look at a piece of junk metal and see something extraordinary inside it. Where other people saw scrap, Chad saw possibility. Where they saw a dead car, he saw canvas. He eventually started his own shop, Green Goblin Customs, and began building one-of-a-kind vehicles using whatever he could find. Boat parts, airplane pieces, old lockers, things that had no business being anywhere near an automobile. And somehow, through a combination of raw imagination and stubborn ingenuity, he turned them into art. Local people knew him. They respected him. But the rest of the world had no idea he existed. That changed because of his partner, Jolene McIntyre. Jolene had just finished her commerce degree from St. Mary's University when she started filming Chad at work on a particularly ambitious build, a Ralph Lauren Bugatti replica, and posting the updates on social media. Week by week, the audience grew. People couldn't believe what they were watching. This guy in a small Canadian town, with no fancy equipment and no Hollywood budget, was building things that didn't look like they should be possible. Discovery Channel executives saw the videos. They reached out, and within about a year, Chad Hilt went from being the guy who got fired from every job he tried to the star of his own show on one of the most watched cable networks in the world. Bad Chad Customs debuted on Discovery Channel in 2018, and it immediately connected with audiences in a way that a lot of car shows don't. It wasn't just the builds, although the builds were extraordinary. It was the authenticity. The shop felt real. The team felt real. Chad and his crew, son Colton, longtime friend, and builder Aaron, and mechanic Alex, had the kind of chemistry that you can't manufacture. You either have it or you don't. They had it. The show also introduced a dynamic between Chad and Colton that gave it so much of its emotional weight. Colton had grown up with a complicated relationship with his dad. The limited time they'd spent together had shaped both of them, and now here they were, working side by side in the shop, trying to build something together in more ways than one. That father and son story, the tension, the respect, the learning, that was the heartbeat of the show underneath all the metal and grease. Season 1 was a hit. Season 2 followed. And then, in 2020, after the second season finished airing, everything went quiet. No Season 3. No announcement. No clear explanation. Discovery Channel moved on without Bad Chad Customs, and fans who had been waiting and hoping were left with nothing but unanswered questions. The reasons for the show's end are, honestly, a mix of things, and none of them are fully clean or simple. The COVID-19 pandemic played a role in shutting down production across the entire television industry in 2020, and Bad Chad Customs was caught up in that like dozens of other shows. But even accounting for the pandemic pause, the renewal never came. Chad himself had gone on record saying they were signed to film a third season in early 2021. That season never materialized. There were also whispers about legal complications involving Chad personally, issues that created uncertainty around his public-facing image at exactly the time the network would have been making decisions about the show's future. None of it was ever fully aired out publicly, which is part of what made the silence so frustrating for fans who just wanted answers. And then there were the personal changes happening behind the scenes. Jolene, who had been not just Chad's partner but the person who essentially launched his entire public profile by filming those early Bugatti build videos, was deeply intertwined with the brand, the channel, and everything that came with it. As that relationship evolved over time, so did the ownership and control of the platform that the audience had grown to know. Which brings us to the YouTube channel. The original Bad Chad channel, the one with nearly 400,000 subscribers, nearly 200 million views, and almost 2,000 videos uploaded over nearly a decade, went on official hiatus. The announcement came through Facebook. The YouTube channel was on hold until further notice. No timeline, no specific explanation. Just, we're stopping, and we don't know when we'll be back. For a channel uploading 7 videos per week at its peak, which is an extraordinary output for any creator, going completely dark is a dramatic shift, and fans notice immediately. Comments flooded in. Where's Chad? What happened? Is the channel done? Is he okay? The speculation ran the full range from people genuinely worried about his well-being to others convinced there was some kind of behind-the-scenes drama driving the whole thing. And here's the part that explains everything, even if it doesn't spell it out in so many words. The old channel, the one that had been built up over years, was tied to the brand, to the history, to everything that existed before. It existed in a context that was no longer fully Chad's to control or operate cleanly. The relationship dynamics that had shaped the early years of his public profile had shifted. And when that happens, when the infrastructure your platform was built on starts to mean something different than it used to, sometimes the cleanest move is to start over. So that's exactly what he did. Chad Hiltz is now on a brand new YouTube channel called Bad Chad and the Lad. And if you haven't found it yet, go find it, because the description of that channel tells you everything you need to know about where his head is at right now and what this next chapter is going to be about. The new channel is built around Chad and his son Colton, father and son, back in the shop, building things together. The description says it plainly. The builds get bigger, crazier, and more personal with Colton by his side for this next chapter. No fancy tools, no big budget, just resourcefulness, grit, and a mind that never shuts off. From boat parts or airplane pieces or whatever they find lying around, if Chad can picture it, he can build it. That is Bad Chad distilled to his absolute essence. No television network politics. No platform complications. No baggage from the years of noise that surrounded the original channel. Just a father and his son in a hand-built shop in Nova Scotia, turning imagination into metal. It's the origin story, restarted. It's the thing that made people fall in love with Chad Hiltz in the first place, before the Discovery Channel deal, before the YouTube millions, before all of it, brought back in its purest form. And that's what makes this moment actually exciting rather than sad, if you're willing to look at it that way. Yes, the old channel going dark is a loss in one sense. Nearly a decade of content, nearly 200 million views, a community of hundreds of thousands of people who grew up watching these builds. That doesn't just disappear from your memory because the upload stopped. The history is real. But the thing about Bad Chad, the actual human being underneath the brand, is that he has always been most compelling when he's operating from nothing. When the budget is zero and the tools are basic and the only thing between a pile of junk and a finished masterpiece is whatever is happening inside his head. That's when the magic shows up. And a brand new channel with a clean slate and his kid beside him, that's a setup for exactly that kind of magic. The name is perfect. 2. Bad Chad and the Lad. It puts the relationship front and center. Not the builds, not the cars, but the partnership between a father and his son that has always been the most human and most compelling part of this whole story. Chad and Colton working together, learning together, creating together. That thread was in the Discovery Channel show, and it clearly means something to both of them. Now it's the whole point. Here's a broader takeaway from all of this, and it's one that goes beyond just Bad Chad and his YouTube situation. There's a pattern in automotive content, and really in creator content generally, where the platform can start to swallow the person. You build an audience, you build a brand, you build a channel. And then slowly the infrastructure of the thing you built starts to feel less like yours and more like something you're obligated to maintain. The uploads, the community, the history, the expectations, all of it can become weight instead of fuel. And sometimes, the bravest and most creatively honest thing you can do is walk away from the thing that has your name on it and start something that has your soul in it. That's what Chad Hiltz appears to be doing. He's not chasing the 400,000 subscribers. He's not trying to recapture the Discovery Channel lightning in a bottle. He's going back to what he actually loves, building impossible things with limited resources alongside someone he cares about, and letting the audience find him there if they want to. If you were a fan of Bad Chad before, go find the new channel. Go find Bad Chad and the lad. Because the content being built there now isn't a lesser version of what came before. It's a more honest version. And if the origin story of how this man went from rural Nova Scotian nobody to Discovery Channel star taught us anything, it's that when Bad Chad is just being himself, raw, creative, unfiltered, the world tends to show up and watch. The old channel may be on hiatus, but Bad Chad himself is not going anywhere. He's right there in the shop, building something. And knowing him, it's probably insane. Drop a comment below. Are you following Bad Chad and the lad on the new channel? What do you want to see him build next? Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. See you in the next one.